is over the cold, but evidently it's just almost. You know that high note? I'm sitting there thinking, it's too high for me. But,
That's my problem.
yeah.
Yeah.
But y'all can sing it out. Okay, so we have some announcements and welcome. So welcome to everybody. I think everyone that's here knows where everything is. Men's restroom down the stairs, ladies in the hall, water fountain, disabled access over there, parlor afterwards for coffee, tea, visiting, fellowship, chocolate chip cookies. Somebody made chocolate chip cookies. All right, so here's the plan today. I leave first. Okay, let's see. We have some exciting things coming up. We have three very important events. We have, I'm going to go later to earlier. We have a chili cook-off coming, April 23rd. If you want to prove that your chili is the best, you need to see Georgette and sign up. You can also actually go to the bethelfest.org website or on our own church website, click where it says something about a chili cook-off. It'll take you to the There's a place where if you want to take part, you can click on there and you can even register online, very uptown. Georgette, anyone that fills that out online, the email's coming to you.
Okay, good.
Yeah.
Good.
There's no charge to enter your chili. Your donation is your chili. You do need to bring like a sterno thing and a chafing dish or something so it can keep hot. But I'm looking forward to trying out all sorts of chili, and I'm planning to bring my chili too, so just look out. Okay, so that's the chili. That's April 23rd. The flyer says 4 to 6. We intended for it to say 4 to 8. We're deciding what to do about that. Because probably we'll get most of the eating done between 4 and 6, so I don't know. Anyway, so whatever. Come around for earlier if you're bringing chili.
And
all right.
all your friends.
And bring all your friends, and invite all your friends to bring their chili, and all that kind of stuff, and eat chili. You have to pay $5 for 6 tickets. Each ticket is good for a sample of chili, or a drink, or something, one of the food items, right? And then you can buy lots more tickets, and it's all going to benefit Restore Bethel. Now, backwards from that, on April 17th is currently booked the symphony finale. I think that's when we're doing it. It's been that way all year. It's just that I get yet 2 more calls for other events that day, so not here from me. So I'm weighing the money. But I think we'll just stick with our symphony on the 17th and tell them to contribute to it. Season finale, we have a special guest conductor who won the baton raffle last time, and she's going to conduct the Stars and Stripes Forever. She's an attorney up in the Upland area. A lovely lady who brought her Rolls Royce to the opera concert. Some people thought it was a joke when she said I came in the Rolls. It wasn't. Okay, so, and the outfit was delightful. All right, so that's April 17th. March 6th, you have to come and you have to bring all of your friends and your enemies and everybody, because the symphony is playing and we're playing all Mozart. Mozart is magical. Now, the symphony thing this year was magic. And this morning, I saw that some really fancy pants orchestra in Europe said, magical Mozart. And I went, Steelers. Anyway, in that particular concert, you have a sort of a double investment there. Not only is it sort of your orchestra, of course, and I'm conducting half of the concert, but the other half of the concert, I'm playing a double concerto with our friend Nancy Roth. It's the Mozart Sinfonia Concertante. And our own George Osorio is conducting the entire first half of the concert, the overture and the concerto. So Nancy and I are depending on him to do that right, so we can just play our solos. So that is on March 6th at 4 o'clock. Now, the other important thing is that February 28th, that is how far from today? 1 week. 1 week. We're going to install our new officers and our old officers, our current officers. our elected slate of officers and folks for the council and the board of trustees. So you guys want to come in and then remind all your friends that aren't here today that they need to come in and get installed. So that's lots of stuff, right? Choir is again on Wednesday this week. Are we healthier? I'm a little healthier. How are you? Okay, I think maybe we'll go for it, you know? Yeah. I don't know. If I'm forgetting anything, just check your bulletin. It's in the calendar. Wait, host choice is coming up in March, but that's a ways off. Okay, so I think we're done with that, and it's time for Wayne to come, and he is going to sing something special for us today. I'm going to turn the light on so you can see your music. I'm going to get out of the way.
I can't read it anyway.
Oh, okay.
And even if I do read it, if I do it what it says on the page, like you said, this version is a little squirrely compared to the original. That's what I get when I buy secondhand hymnals from the book shop. Since I started for the kingdom, since my life he controls, since I gave my heart to Jesus, the longer I serve him, the sweeter he grows. The longer I serve him, the sweeter he grows. The more that I love him, more love he bestows. Each day is like heaven, my heart overflows. The longer I serve him, the sweeter he grows. Every need he is supplying, plenteous grace he bestows. Every day my way gets brighter, the longer I serve him, the sweeter he grows. The longer I serve him, the sweeter he grows. The more that I love him, more love he bestows. Each day is like heaven, my heart overflows. The longer I serve him, the sweeter he grows.
Wayne, thank you. I didn't tell you this when you asked me, how about if I sing The Longer I Serve Him? I used to play that all the time with my dad, who would go and sing at anywhere that would have him, the Senior Citizen Center, the convalescent hospitals, the local church, the senior group at the local church, the choir I was leading at the time when everyone was sick and we needed a solo. You know, it's honestly one of my very favorite tunes, a simple one, a beautiful one with wonderful thoughts. So thank you for singing that. Didn't want to make you nervous ahead of time, so I thought I'd tell you now. So I'm going to come up forward because we've got Troy. I don't see Sophie here today, but that's okay. Troy is here. And so I'm going to get away from the microphone and I'm just going to come over here and talk with Troy. And you guys too. So, he's being shy. What's that picture on the upper left? A fox. And what's there? A chicken with her babies. I'm so glad you said a chicken with her babies. Believe it or not, today we're talking about Jesus being a chicken. Yeah, pretty weird. I know. Jesus being a chicken. Jesus talked to some people. They were important teachers. They came out of Jerusalem. He was on his way to Jerusalem. And they came out and they said, you better not come in here. Herod is going to kill you. Herod the king. This is not the same Herod when Jesus was a baby. This is the next Herod. Right? And he said, Jesus said that Herod was like a fox. He said Herod was acting like a fox. And that Herod was after Jesus's baby chickens. Jesus actually said, Jerusalem, I am so sad about you. You are my baby chicks and I love you. And you know what? I'm going to stand up to Herod and I am going to be your mother chicken and shelter you under my wings. Can you imagine? Whatever picture you have of Jesus in your head. Was it a chicken? Yeah? All right, it was a chicken. It was a chicken. So for the sake of Jesus the chicken, you'll never think of a chicken as a coward again, right? A chicken, a mother chicken. Okay, I didn't want to put up a scary story, okay? But think about this. Usually chickens live where? Chicken coops, yeah? Who raises chickens? A farm, yeah, farmers. All right, so farmers put their chickens in chicken coops and they put fences around it. And guess what? When the fox gets really hungry, we love foxes, they're so cute. But when they get hungry, you know what they want to eat? Chicken. Yes, they want to eat the chicken's babies. So the mama chicken is so strong and so brave, and she covers up all the chickens with her wings and stands up to the fox. Sometimes it ends nicely, sometimes not so good. Right. But the babies are usually safe. So that's kind of a weird children's story, but now you can go and you can tell your friends, my pastor told me that Jesus was just like a chicken. And they'll go, what? And then you can explain about mama chickens protecting their babies. Okay? Okay. Kind of a fun children's story. Who's going to make Sophie pretend to be a mother chicken?
There's even a picture of the yes.
Yes, there's a fun little picture in the bulletin. It's on the back. It's a cartoon. I have to get my reading glasses out to read it, but there's a cartoon about chickens. And the fox guarding the house and things like that. Oh, that too. Inside there's a picture of a mother hen and chickens. So we have a chicken theme today. And a pool. Okay. So now it's time for our Gloria. Now I didn't warn anybody and I gave Donna all the printed up scriptures. But I think I'm going to draft somebody to follow you with the next page for the epistle. Will you do that? Stacy will do that. So just come up after her. But right now we're going to sing our Gloria. Here we go. Let's stand together. Glory to the Creator, the Christ, the Holy Spirit, three in one. As was in the beginning, is
first reading is Psalm 27. God is my light and my salvation. Whom shall I fear? God is the stronghold of my life. Of whom shall I be afraid? When evildoers assail me to devour my flesh, my adversaries and foes, they shall stumble and fall. Though an army encamp against me, my heart shall not fear. Though war rise up against me, yet I will be confident. One thing I asked of God, that will I seek after, to live in the house of God all the days of my life, to behold the beauty of God and to inquire in God's temple. For God will hide me in God's shelter in the day of trouble. God will conceal me under the cover of God's tent. God will set me high on a rock. Now my head is lifted up above my enemies all around me, and I will offer in God's tent sacrifices with shouts of joy. I will sing and make melody to God. Hear, O God, when I cry aloud. Be gracious to me and answer me. Come, my heart says, seek God's face. Your face, O God, do I seek. Do not hide your face from me. Do not turn your servant away in anger, you who have been my help. Do not cast me off. Do not forsake me, O God of my salvation. If my father and mother forsake me, God will take me up. Teach me your way, O God, and lead me on a level path because of my enemies. Do not give me up to the will of my adversaries, for false witnesses have risen against me, and they are breathing out violence. I believe that I shall see the goodness of God in the land of the living. Wait for God. Be strong. Let your heart take courage. Wait for God.
This is what we call in education a cold read. So if I make any mistakes, just okay. The next reading this morning is from Philippians chapter 3, verse 17 through chapter 4, verse 1. Brothers and sisters, join in imitating me and observe those who live according to the example you have in us. For many live as enemies of the cross of Christ. I have often told you of them, and now I tell you, even with tears. Their end is destruction, their God is the belly, and their glory is in their shame. Their minds are set on earthly things, but our citizenship is in heaven, and it is from there that we are expecting a Savior, the Lord Jesus Christ. He will transform the body of our humiliation, that it may be conformed to the body of his glory, by the power that also enables him to make all things subject to himself. Therefore, my brothers and sisters, who I love and long for, my joy and crown, stand firm in the Lord in this way, my beloved.
See, when you want a cold read, you ask the teachers. Our gospel reading today is from the Gospel of Luke, 13th chapter, verses 31 through 35. At that very hour, some Pharisees came and said to him, "Get away from here, for Herod wants to kill you." He said to them, "Go and tell that fox for me, listen, I am casting out demons and performing cures today and tomorrow, and on the third day I finish my work. Yet today, tomorrow, and the next day I must be on my way, because it is impossible for a prophet to be killed outside of Jerusalem. Jerusalem, Jerusalem, the city that kills the prophets and stones those that are sent to it. How often I have desired to gather your children together as a hen gathers her brood under her wings, and you were not willing. See, your house is left to you. And I tell you, you will not see me until the time comes when you say, Blessed is the one who comes in the name of the Lord. May we hear and understand what our scriptures are saying today. The one we didn't read, there's always 4, and I always pick 3. The one we didn't read today was from Genesis, and the short version is that this is where God establishes a covenant with Abram to make him the father of many nations. He assures him that he will have offspring as multitudinous as the stars. In the psalm, we sing about the Lord being our stronghold and that we don't have to be afraid of anyone. Yet in Philippians, Paul tells us, you know what? It's kind of dangerous out there. People are picking on us. People are attacking the true cross of Christ. And in Luke, Jesus says, you know, the fox is guarding the hen house right now, and I'm going to come protect you. I'm going to come keep doing my work. I'm going to keep being my prophecies. I'm going to keep giving those prophecies. I'm going to keep casting out the demons. I'm going to keep healing people. I am going to continue doing the work of my Father. Even though Herod wants to attack me and kill me. In the psalm, we hear lots of words. And in our readings, I took our readings, and I took a word, and then I made some other words in a list. And I just want to share them with you. This is just part of the thought process when I'm preparing for Sunday, and I thought, well, these are kind of cool. I think I'll share them. Light. The Lord is the light of our lives. Some of the words I thought of. Shining, burning, beacon, warmth, glowing, showing, salvation, and love. He also refers to God as a rock, the rock of our salvation, a stronghold, a fortress, a foundation, strength, protection, a redeemer, salvation, and love. A hen, a mother, a parent, safety, care, protection, nurture, salvation, love. And Jesus. I don't know how many hundreds of words we could come up with there, but here are some. Prophet, blessing, transformer, promise, fulfillment, Savior, salvation, love. You might notice that salvation and love were the last 2 words each time, because all of those things were there. Jerusalem is a holy city, historically and spiritually. A history of joy, pain, peace, war, life, death, natural disasters, unnatural disasters, a symbol of triumph and victory. It's the city where Jesus was praised on Palm Sunday and crucified on Good Friday. Jesus tells the people of Jerusalem, the Pharisees, these were the, I guess, not so bad Pharisees, the ones who came out to warn him. I'm coming anyway. I love Jerusalem. I care about Jerusalem. I care about my city, about my people, and I'm going to protect them. In Lent, we have an opportunity to think about the needs of people in our lives, and think about the needs of our communities, and think about what needs protecting, and what needs light, and what needs salvation, and what needs nurturing, and what needs all of those things that mother hen actually does for her chicks. And how can we go about doing them? You know, most of the time when we think of images for God's protection, we see these gorgeous images that kind of reflect one one of my favorite animals in my favorite verses, the eagle in the air soaring and us being in the shadow of the wings. Fabulous image. But you know what? The mother chicken, that really kind of got to me when I was reading about that. The mother chicken. To be a chicken. Chickens are stronger than we think. Mother chickens are very strong and yet very tender. The chicken stood up to the fox and stands up to the fox. And Jesus said, I'm going to stand up. And Jesus was telling the Pharisees something a little bit more and his disciples a little bit more, because he was also saying, this is your work. This is what you should be doing. Look at this, your house is abandoned. You're not taking care of your house. This, of course, wasn't the first time some prophet stood up to some powers that be in Israel. The language in this particular reading recalls the ancient promises of God, and it continues to hold Israel to this high standard of faithfulness to the covenant that was carved on their hearts. And that same covenant is carved on our hearts. Now, the passage even shows us that Jesus was truly rooted in the teachings of his people, in Jewish ways of thought, recalling those prophecies, recalling that charge to speak truth to power, to be a prophet. While prophecy is a gift, and some have it more than others, we are all called to speak that truth to power, to be prophets in whatever way we can, to say, we need to protect this person. We need to nurture these people. We need to take care of ourselves. We need to let this person know that they can't pick on that person. Those are simplistic little examples. But truly what I see in this story, beyond him saying, go away, Pharisees, I'm coming in anyway, is an actual true vision of neighborliness on Jesus' part. He looks at Jerusalem, he looks at square in the face, and marches in and does his work. He comes in triumph on Palm Sunday, fully knowing that it's all going to go wrong by the end of the week. A true neighbor, a true giver of self. Think about the word neighborliness for a minute. What's the second great commandment? It's a quiz.
Love your neighbor as yourself.
Yes, love your neighbor as yourself. How do we do that? One of the things I always say about that is that we kind of need to love ourselves in order to do that. So take care of yourself. Get in communication with God. Do the things God would have you do. Follow that will. Be fulfilled. And then taking care of your neighbor as yourself means giving them those same gifts. If we don't take care of ourselves, if we have some sort of self-hatred and self-loathing, we can turn to God and to other professionals and get help and get that grace of God, which we then share. I know that's simplistic. But God is not all that complicated. The theology is complicated. God not so much. Jesus' lament over Jerusalem, for me, this mother hen, for some reason, it's this powerful, heartbreaking image. The picture we had at the beginning, let's see how well we can do this. Most of you missed this. This is an artist's rendering. We have no idea that Jesus looked like that, but it's still a beautiful picture of Jesus overlooking Jerusalem. The title is Jesus' Lament. As he's looking at Jerusalem and saying, Jerusalem, Jerusalem, I weep for you. I want to care for you like a mother hen. But you won't have it, he says in the next breath. Oops. You won't accept my care. That's where I'm coming from with the self-loving and the love your neighbor as yourself. I wasn't just like picking that out of the air. Jesus says, I want to care for you like a mother hen cares for her chicks. But you're not letting me. You're not accepting my care. He's fierce and he's unselfish, just like the mother hen fighting off the fox. Have you ever seen a hen fighting? Oh my gosh. Wow. They are fierce. They are strong. Unselfishly fighting for her chicks. Even to the point where he was willing to lose his life. And sometimes, we didn't put that in the children's story, sometimes the fox kills the mother chicken. I've seen stories of fires at farms where you'll find live baby chicks huddled under the wings of the mother hen who has died in the fire. Jesus is willing to protect us even to the point of losing his life. It's a persistent, unbreakable love. He's the mother that folds the covers down on the bed and puffs up the pillow. And when we screw up, he says, don't let me catch you doing that again. Accountability and mercy. I know every single mother, stepmother, aunt, grandmother, even older brothers, sisters, have probably done those very same things. It tears your heart up when you can't fix something for your kids. I saw that shared more than once this week. Sometimes they have to fix it themselves, and sometimes you have to write it out and comfort them and trust in God that that protection and that love and that grace will be there for them, whatever they're going through in their life. The Pharisees saw Herod as a fox. Jesus called him a fox. But he said, you tell him for me, I'm coming. I'm coming. There's so much this month, in the month of Lent. Jesus' fierce determination to face what lay ahead for him in Jerusalem. For our sake, the sake of his people. And when we see that strength and that determination to face whatever is ahead, we can call to mind other heroes. Gandhi, Martin Luther King, the Freedom Riders, all the people, the little people, the ones who are unnamed, who work to care for God's people. And who are God's people? We're God's people. What about Donald Trump? He's one of God's people too, even if you don't like him. Bernie Sanders? Yep. Hillary? Yep. Ralph Nader, is he still running? Him too. Is he dead? I don't know. I can't remember. I don't know. People who sleep on our porch? Yes, they're God's people. I haven't heard the loudspeaker from across the street lately, but those are God's people too. The people next door. People we get upset with. You know what? They're God's people too. It's hard. Some people think of the church, surprisingly enough, as a brooding hen. That we, the church, are a big hen with all of our babies and our people. Offering warmth, shelter to all kinds of chicks. Putting ourselves between the foxes of the world and those that are fragile. So many people look at this passage and they just kind of don't get it, the mother hen. They focus on the prayer later, Jerusalem, Jerusalem. But I was so taken by the hen. I want Bethel to be a mother hen for Ontario and our community. I want each of us to be a mother hen, and at the same time, guess what? We're all chicks. Together, we form the body of Christ. Now you're going to laugh, but together, all of us stuck together, we're the mother hen. All of us individually, with the chicks. So, as we continue through Lent, remember that we're going into Jerusalem. We're traveling there with Jesus. We're called to share that fierce, loving protection, the nurturing of the mother hen. And at the same time, to accept the nurturing of our mother hen, Jesus. Amen. Our responsive hymn, I guess it's Dad's favorite day, Dad's favorites day, is Great is Your Faithfulness, which of course I grew up learning is Great is Thy Faithfulness, but whichever word you like you may use. Number 423 in your hymnals. Trusting no matter what, God is faithful. Let's stand together to sing.